It's 9 o'clock in the evening. Welcome to the English news. Here are the headlines for tonight. Opening training workshop on reproductions, law and female genital mutilations. On continental news, in London, the United Kingdom wants to become the first Western investor in Africa. That were our top story, and now let's get to the detail. The National Commissions of Human Rights, in partnership with the National Union of Djiboutian Women, UNFD, organized this morning in the room of meeting of Sheraton a formation workshop of the civil society and the journalists on the reproduction rights and the female genital mutilation, which will take place from August 28 to 29. The aims is to raise the awareness of society and journalists facing the public in order to disseminate and enable citizens to fully understand reproduction rights and the effects of female genital mutilation, to report to the police and the public justice to save the life of the little girl. This workshop brought together several journalists from the RTD and the Al-Qarn nations or other civil society actors like professors as well as lawyers. The launch of the workshop was shared by the President of the National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Suleiman Omar Ouden, and the resident representative of the United Nations agencies in Djibouti, Mrs. Barbara Menzi, and Mrs. Amina Abdelkader Mohammed, in charge of the gender program. The representative of the UN agencies in Djibouti, for her part, Barbara Menzi, explained how to transmit the utility by to improve the living condition of our little girl. For his part, the President of the Commission of the Human Rights, Mr. Suleiman Omar, explained the importance that this workshop takes for the men or the civil societies and the media. He thanks all the participating for having responded massively to their call, and he also thanks the organizations that strive daily for improvement of rights in Djibouti, whose objective is the improvement of the living condition of our citizens. As part of its effort to improve its service and meet the needs of its customers, Djibouti Air acquired an air cargo helicopters arrived Thursday at the Djibouti International Airport. The new aircraft was received by the company's managing director, Mr. Abdurrahman Abdullahi, the company's shipping manager, Milay Idris Arnaoud, and the others officials. Djibouti Air aims to expand its operation and strengthen its capabilities, particularly with respect to air cargo. According to Mr. Milay Idris Arnaoud, he noted that the new aircraft will be used for shipping as well as for the transportations of patients and tourists coming to the country. The helicopter carrying about 20 passengers. It should be noted that Djibouti Airlines re-entered services about 3 years ago after a long absence from the scene, and goes on regular trips to neighboring countries. Cybercafes in Djibouti have not been innominous since the advent of smartphones, especially since the internet is more accessible to Djiboutians. For more, Mohammed Aden has more.
Cybercafe in Djibouti has not been anonymous since the advent of a smartphone was born in our country, and especially since the internet is more accessible to Djiboutians, and the first to suffer from this change are Cybercafe were the favorite places to Djiboutian youth. After the school classes, young people went to Cybercafe room, something that is out of date in 2018. At this time, the internet connection was rare. Today's 4G plus network and the smartphone did not exist in Djibouti capital. However, thanks to the national operator Djibouti Telecom, the deal has taken a different turn in recent years. Now that Djiboutians have much more accessibility to the internet, whether in the capital, in the region of the interior. Connecting to the internet does not seem to be a problem for anyone in 2018.
And this report will tell us about the development of many regions like Mabla.
NGO started its rural development program a dozen years ago at Daimoli, has a dozen kilometers from Tujura. Today, it is an oasis with a significant production of date and market gardening. At the time, about 10 years at Daimoli is desert with a small sources of water. Adim has set his back, and today Daimoli is a green oasis with agro-pastoral perimeter with a significant production of dates and market garden product. For its beginning, the association benefits from adoption of the date plant and of the President of the Republic, which is used wisely. The association is led by a pioneer syndicate, Mr. Hamid Hassan, who has invested in the promotions of the rural development with the participations of senior executives from the region, including Mabla sectors, who are very involved. At first, no one thought that the productions of dates would be possible at Daimoli. After the first success, Adim has expanded its rural development activity to end it Galato in the two northern region, but also in the high altitude localities and Mabla region with the support of IGAD. To ensure the project's success, Adim has launched a vast sensitization campaign for nomadic pastoralists on the importance of the agro-pastoral activities to improve their living condition. The project was well received by the population, who suffered the full impact of the climatic hazard with the scarcity of rain and the disappearance of plant cover from livestock feed, which was the main sources of livelihood of nomads. The Adim has advised the nomadic population to plant a palm tree in front of each tukul and to go do the market gardening in order to properly feed their families. It was in good condition. The practice of cultivation is a response to the drought, agriculture and sale of the Daimoli site, which has become a training center for former farmers to acquire the techniques of farming. The rural development project carried out by the Adim has been an originality in the region. It combines climate adaptation, activities and resilience. Today, the results are encouraging. Agro-pastoral production is constantly increasing each year in the perimeter realized in the sector of Mabla. The President Hamid Hassan said that the NGOs has recorded a production of a ton in 2016 and in 2018 has more than 3 tons for date. Thanks to agricultural perimeter create, market gardening has been. The Adim has reached its first goal and has encouraged hundreds of nomadic families to turn to the work of the land, which is now an alternative in the rural area.
And on continental news, in South Sudan, rebel leaders Machar refused to sign peace deals. For details, let's follow in this report.
The main opposition groups are demanding guarantees over their reservation about the deal. South Sudan rebel leader Riek Machar, along with other main opposition groups, have refused to sign the latest draft of peace deal with the government that will end a brutal civil war. The opposition leader and South Sudanese President Salva Kiir signed a ceasefire and power sharing agreement last month, one of a series of apparent breakthroughs in recent months. But Machar's refusal to sign the latest draft could be a sign of how difficult it will be to implement a full agreement.
The Prime Minister of Kingdom of London, Theresa May, pledged Africa investment boost after Brexit.
Theresa May has announced plans to pause Britain's investment in Africa after Brexit during her first trip to the continent as Prime Minister. In a speech in Cape Town, she pledged for funds in support for African economies to create jobs for young people. She also pledged a fundamental shift in aid spending to focus on long-term economic and security challenges rather than short-term poverty reduction. She will also visit Nigeria and Kenya during the 3-day trade mission. On her way to South Africa, the Prime Minister played down a warning from the Chancellor about the economic damage a no-deal Brexit could cause.
According to the World Health Organization, Africa, the health system still works halfway.
The health system in Africa is only half full. The World Health Organization (WHO) said on Monday that the meeting was open in Senegal. Continent still faces Ebola and cholera, but also a worrying number of cases of diabetes or cancer. Health ministers, senior officials, and civil society of 47 African countries start working on Monday of the 6th session of the WHO Regional Committee for Africa to pay close on Friday. The 400 or so delegates will consider a new health report in Africa, which determines that almost half, 49% of its full capacity.
Here we arrived at the end of this news of English. Thank you for watching us. Goodbye.